At this level, candidates are expected to be completely intelligible and to be able to use intonation, stress and individual sounds appropriately. However, what distinguishes the good candidate from the adequate candidate is the ability to vary their stress and intonation in order to convey different meanings. Also remember that even at the top level, candidates may still have features of their first language, and that's absolutely fine.
So I've been competing for many years in both sports and I absolutely love it.
It would be fun to drive, but it's not good for the world, and you should kind of see that that you do something for nature and not for your own pleasure.
Okay.
So taking the bus.
Thank you.
I think it's hard to trust charities today. That's a big problem, unfortunately.
I think in principle I agree as well that you should do everything to protect the ones you love. But if it's at the expense of somebody else's life, then that might be a tricky situation.
Interactive communication assesses the candidate's ability to hold a conversation, to be able to initiate and respond, to listen to one another, and to be able to widen the scope of the conversation where appropriate. They also need to be able to negotiate an outcome to the task they've been given. A good candidate will also be sensitive to their partner's needs and be able to support their partner wherever appropriate, so that they can actually finish the task.
Depends on what you mean by high technology and what you want to protect. So we have to define first what we want to protect.
Protect, okay.
Let's say the environment.
Okay, the environment, how to protect the environment.
That might be a tricky situation.
What if they're threatening your life?
Yes, true. That's true.
I would agree that it's probably over the top to go with a knife against like verbal offense, but if you are threatened with a knife, then probably it's not that over the top anymore.
Yes, no, I think certainly it's a natural instinct to protect the ones you love.
They don't give it away just so.
And today there is
like
also
that.
a lot of charities as well. There's so much. It's a big range of different kinds of charities.
Yeah, and all of these charities, they try to get these people. So these people are like kind of getting attacked every day by different charities. So they think like, whoa, why are there so many charities?
Yeah.
Actually,
I think it's hard to trust charities today.
I've never read the terms and conditions, so I don't know what I'm actually approving of.
I was more about talking about selling your personal data and sharing it with other companies, for example. So if you go on a search engine and they recommend you certain things to buy, have you never wondered why they did that?
Yeah, that's true. They have that on many websites because they can see your search history.
Good afternoon. My name's Sarah Curtis and this is my colleague John Evans. And your names are?
My name is Inga Spilevaya.
Thank you. And
my name is Rebecca Otazo.
Thank you. And could I have your mark sheets, please?
Of course.
Yes. Thank you. Well, first of all, we'd like to know something about you. So, Inga, where are you from?
I'm from Russia, to be precise, from Moscow.
And you?
I'm from Spain, the north of Spain, Basque Country.
Okay. And are you working or studying at the moment?
At the moment, I work for the Bodleian Libraries for the University of Oxford.
Okay, thank you. And you?
I'm studying at the moment, University of Oxford as well. I'm a DPhil student.
Okay, thank you. And you said you're from Moscow?
Yes.
Is that an interesting place to live?
Yes, indeed, it is. It is a big city full of interesting places, places which are worth visiting, definitely.
Okay, and how good are you at organising your time?
I would love to be better, actually. I think I do my best. But yeah, it's depending on how I feel, actually. Sometimes I feel like more organised and I can take the best of my time, but sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit. I like improvising too. So.
Okay, thank you. And Inga, what would your dream job be?
Oh, well, it's a good question. I think I would like to have an interesting job, but with relation to my current subject. So just sort of combine my research background and some industrial experience, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you think it's important for people to learn to speak another language?
Oh, yeah, I think so, for many reasons, actually. It's more than, obviously, the first one is the communication, but also it's to know other cultures. I mean, because if you learn another language, you end up knowing how people think in other languages too, because it's something more attached to the inner soul, something much more deep than a way to communicate.
Okay, thank you. Now, in this part of the test, you're going to do something together. And here are some pictures of people in different situations. Okay? First, I'd like you to look at pictures A and E and talk together about the risks that people might face in these situations. And you have about 1 minute for this, so don't worry if I interrupt you.
Okay, in the picture A, I see a lot of risk, actually, because it seems they are in Africa or somewhere else in a photographic safari, and they are pointing something that could be a lion or a tiger or a savage animal that can attack these people anytime. What do you think?
There might be several types of risk which those two young men and women could take. So the first one is definitely predators, you mentioned. The second one might be insects or some sort of unusual infectious which they might be exposed to during their wild trip. On the other hand, picture A shows us a very safe situation when a young man is taking a picture of a young woman, perhaps she is his partner, and everything looks perfectly safe. However, at the same time, there might be also some types of risks.
Thank you. Now look at all the pictures. I'd like you to imagine that a travel magazine is preparing an article to promote different types of holidays to young adults. These are some of the holidays being considered for the article. Talk about why these holidays might appeal to young adults, and then decide which holiday not to include in the article. And you have about 3 minutes to talk about this.
Okay, picture A can be very attractive for young people because it's giving a sense of adventure and travel to an exotic place. It can be a little bit expensive for young people, but I mean, there are many ways to make it more affordable, perhaps.
Picture B shows us diving experience, and I guess it requires some certain knowledge of how to do these difficult things. But it should be very attractive for younger adults, and the magazine should definitely include diving as a part of their article.
I like particularly the picture C, when you can see a group of people sailing and in the middle of the ocean. It's difficult to know where exactly, but it looks like in the Atlantic, because you can see it's a sort of wild ocean there. It seems they are having a very good time. It's also a very colorful photograph that can be very attractive for a magazine. Going back to the point of the money that young people can spend in a holiday, that can be a little bit more problematic, because these sort of holidays, they result much more expensive.
Picture D shows a winter school and ski resort, which is a great option for young adults to spend their winter holidays, not only with their friends, but also their families. So it might be a very good option for the magazine to advertise this kind of resort. What do you think about E?
I have mixed feelings about E, actually, because I find it... it's a sort of very, like a stereotype of holiday, somebody taking a photo